Hi StoryCon, I am Elle McNicol. I am the author of A Kind of Spark, Show Us Who You Are, and Just Out Like a Charm. These are my 3 books, and I'm really glad to be here today talking to you about writing. And I'm going to set a little exercise at the end of this little video. But first, introduction to myself. I am a neurodivergent author and I write books that are primarily about neurodivergent main characters. And what I always try to do with my stories is make sure that story and character comes first. It's not interesting to me otherwise. Just because I write about subjects and people that are often underrepresented in fiction, it doesn't mean that they're textbooks, doesn't mean they're educational or boring or any of the books that I grew up reading that are about people like me. I wanted to write neurodivergent characters who were in sort of thrillers like this one or magical fantasies like this. And I'm very, very lucky that my readers have embraced that. But in order to write these books, which is why we're talking to StoryCon today, I have a number of techniques, and the techniques that I have found are absolutely tried and tested, non-negotiable must-have techniques when writing a book for me. The first one is planning, which people really don't like when I say that, but unfortunately that is what has turned me into an author. I used to start a lot of stories, I would get about 1,000 words in, and then the steam would all run out and that lovely inspiration would go, and I would think, okay, now I don't know where I'm going. So now I always write a 2-page synopsis for every single book before I even start it, before there's one word written of the manuscript. And if I can write that 2-page synopsis, if I can get all of that down into 2 pages, then I have permission to start writing the book, which is the more fun part. And I have found that when I hit walls within a manuscript, so I'm writing a sequel to Like a Charm right now, and whenever I hit a bump in the road or a wall, I look to the plan, and I'm able to kind of pick myself back up and get through that wall. So that's first and foremost. I find that planning has really, really helped with writing. Second of all, and that's to do with the task I'm going to set at the end of this video, is character. And I find that you have characters that speak to you, and the ones whose voices stay in your head for long periods of time, as clinically insane as that sounds, are the ones that you can go on a journey with and you can write a book with for 300 pages. Like I said, my characters are always neurodivergent. Addie in A Kind of Spark is autistic, as is her older sister Katie. Cora and Adrian in Show Us Who You Are neurodivergent. Cora is autistic and Adrian is ADHD. And Ramia in Like a Charm is dyspraxic, which is learning difficulty. The reason I did this is because I grew up loving reading, and I was writing as well from a very young age, and I realise now as an adult that when I wrote stories I never felt it was okay to write about someone like me. I never thought that viewpoint was allowed because that's the messaging I was getting while reading. So now that I do this full time, I'm a full-time author, I always make sure that neurodiversity is not just a theme in my books, but that it's also the lens in which the main character views the world. And because of that, the books, no matter what topic they explore, whether it is AI, like in Show Us Who You Are, or historic witch trials, like A Kind of Spark, or witchcraft and glamour in Like a Charm, no matter what the subject is, it's usually fresh and new because the lens that the character has and the point of view has not been seen before. So that's a bit of background on me, but I'm going to set a quick writing exercise, and it's going back to what I talked about with character. And I find that the more character work I do before starting a novel, the easier the novel is to write. It's sort of like how an actor prepares for a role. If you over-prepare and you have every piece of information about your character, you know exactly how they're going to lift a teacup, you know exactly how they're going to say the line, you know everything about them. And it's the same with writing. So I always do a character breakdown for every single main character. In fact, every character, not, the villains as well. I think about who they are, where were they born, who are their family, and most importantly, and this is what I would say to any writers watching this is the task I would set, is to interview them and find out the answer to 4 very important questions. And those are, what do they want? Because their motivations and their objectives are what is going to drive the story forward. What are they afraid of? We have to really put characters up against what they're scared of in order to see what they're made of, in order to show growth and make it exciting for the reader. What is their wound / secret? What is the thing that hurts them? What is the thing that they don't want to talk about? What is the secret they perhaps are keeping from other characters? Maybe they share it with the reader, maybe they don't, maybe they're an unreliable narrator. And finally, what is their weakness? What can they not live without, or what can they not say no to, or who can they not say no to? I'm having a really good time in my current manuscript exploring weaknesses in character and who people's weaknesses are, and I think that's a really exciting way to get into your characters. And once you know these things about your characters, no matter where they are in the story, it will make writing it easier. So that's my task for you, a bit of character work. Have a wonderful, wonderful StoryCon. Thank you so much. I'm Elle McNicol. Bye.